Everyone is talking about the ultimate goal of $1 million. So many personal finance books and YouTube thumbnails feature this number, and many people see it as the ultimate goal of personal finance and investing. Do not get me wrong, $1 million is a great goal, but your life does not just start changing at $1 million. In this video, I will take you through the 3 net worth milestones that change everything and the meaning of each one. Let us start with the first milestone, $10,000. This milestone shows me your self-discipline because getting to this point is an achievement in itself. I believe if you can reach the $10,000 mark, compound interest will start to work in your favor, provided of course that you are investing. Seeing $10,000 in your bank account also brings many psychological benefits, which we will discuss later. First, let us assume you put $100 a month into an investment account and earn the stock market average return of about 8%. Then after 6.5 years, you will reach $10,000, but you will be surprised to find that even though your investments are earning interest when you reach $10,000, the actual money you put in accounts for $7,800 of the total, the rest is the interest generated by compound interest. So at this stage, you are likely to say to yourself, is this really worth it? In the first 10,000, I personally invested 7,800, and this compound interest effect has almost no attraction for me. I would rather just put the money directly into a bank account. What if I told you what would happen if you reached 10,000 and then did not put another penny into that account? This is what happens next. $10,000 reinvested for another 6.5 years will bring you $6,591 in interest. This means you get about $1,000 a year in income that does not require work. After 25 years, your balance will reach $69,538 with total interest earned of about $59,000. And that is without any additional input. Another powerful concept of the 10,000 milestone is purely psychological. Personally, I know when I saw 5 figures in my bank account, I felt more financial confidence, which is proof of my financial discipline. Most people are in a state of vague financial stress or worry, even if they never realize it. They are always just one bad week or month away from missing bills. They hesitate before buying anything, and money is always a source of frustration. But if you can reach the 10,000 mark first, you gain peace of mind because you know you are no longer living paycheck to paycheck and you can start focusing on bigger financial goals. Second, you can handle 99% of life's emergencies because most unexpected expenses hopefully cost less than 10,000. Third, I feel at this level the psychological barrier is broken because you have proven you can stick to a plan and reach 10,000. The only thing standing between you and 100,000 is time and further input, which brings me to the next milestone in today's video. The second truly life-changing milestone is the $100,000 mark. This is when your money really starts making money for you and momentum picks up. If you have $100,000 and a 10% annual return, then your investment returns $10,000 a year. In contrast, if you only have $100 and the return rate is 10%, you only earn $10 a year. For most people, doing some kind of work or task earns at least $10 an hour. So in this case, you put in $100 of hard-earned money for a year and only got $10 back. That is not really powerful. But because the scale effect of capital is so good, the benefits of owning more capital increase proportionally. Most people cannot easily earn $10,000 through some work or task, especially in 1 hour. So it is really at the 100,000 mark that the interest you get from investments starts to become very significant. This is why people say money makes money. While $100,000 now is not enough to let you retire, what it does is create huge momentum for you. This is when you really start to accelerate the accumulation of net worth or investable assets. So in previous videos, I mentioned that the time between the first 100,000 and the second or third 100,000 will become shorter and shorter. Here is an illustration. Suppose we put $10,000 into the stock market and get a 7% return every year. Your first 100,000 will take 7.84 years to reach. The second 100,000 will take 5.1 years. The third takes 3.78 years. And finally, from 900,000 to 1 million, that last 100,000 only takes 1.35 years because your existing money is working for you. This means wealth accumulation is much slower in the beginning, which I feel is not something people often talk about. That is when you start earning and investing and trying to increase your net worth. In the early stages, you might be doing everything right, but see almost no results. Literally, personal finance and investing is the kind of thing where you must persevere, work hard every day, and stay disciplined. Then maybe in 25 or 10 years, you will truly see the results of your progress. This takes great faith because it is unlike any other thing or hobby on earth. For example, suppose we are playing golf together and you are about to swing. As soon as you hit the ball, you immediately get feedback on how well you hit that shot. Your direct input has direct results, and in a sport like golf, you get those results almost immediately. But in terms of investing, you must understand the math behind your decisions and understand that there will be a huge delay between what you do now and the dream results you expect. For example, a person who reaches $100,000 in investments at age 35 may feel behind relative to peers or what is seen on social media. But if you really have $100,000 in investments at 35 and stop contributing completely, you will have about $1 million 30 years later. Assuming an 8% return, 9.9% of that is your original $100,000 principal, while 90.1% comes from compound interest before entering today. As third milestone, I do want to share some advice on how to get the first 100,000 and more. If you use any investment calculator, I think an optimistic time goal for achieving the first 100,000 is within 6 to 8 years or even sooner. We know from the previous example, if you invest 10,000 a year at a 7% return rate, that will get you to 100,000 in 7.84 years. Now, investing 10,000 means you must invest about $833 a month. So if we want to reach the goal faster, we need to exceed this number. This may seem difficult, but if you can add any company match to your investments, it becomes much easier. In the United States, our 401k retirement plans have employer-sponsored matching programs. This means if you put $500 a month into a retirement fund, your employer might match another $500 on top of your contribution, making your total monthly investment $1,000. This is certainly one way to increase your investment amount. In other parts of the world, there are also different programs. I know Canada and Australia have versions similar to the 401k, which usually include employer contributions, and in the UK, you can join a pension scheme where the employer also contributes. So if you are in these countries and want to know how to increase input, I might suggest starting there or contacting your company's payroll or benefits department to see if there are related programs. Another tip for reaching 100,000 faster is to increase your income. This is easier said than done, but at the start of your wealth journey, you want to save as much as possible to get the snowball rolling. This means if you can take a certification training class, I would do that. If you can try a new side hustle or part-time job and earn an extra $50 to $100 a week, I would do that too. Regularly putting $50 or $100 into your investment account helps the compound interest effect, especially in the beginning. Today's third milestone, and one that most people never consider, is $500,000. Most people jump straight from $100,000 to talking about $1 million, but I think at $500,000, this is actually a huge psychological and financial turning point. At $500,000, because the asset size is so large, your investment portfolio starts to do the heavy lifting on its own. If you get an 8% annual return on a $500,000 principal, it produces $40,000 a year. This amount is not small in many areas. It is equivalent to a full-time annual salary, and you earn it without lifting a finger. Furthermore, $500,000 invested for 20 years without additional contributions will bring you a gain of $2.33 million. And if you wait 10 years, it still leaves you with at least $1 million. In the United States, this 500,000 milestone also exceeds the average retirement savings amount. According to Empower dashboard data, the average retirement savings balance is $491,000. So I think once you reach 500,000, in my opinion, you are doing very well. When you have $500,000 in assets calculated according to the 4.7% safe withdrawal rate rule, you can safely withdraw $23,500 from it each year. This means if you can combine this money with the average U.S. Social Security payment, a single person at the legal retirement age of 67 will have a total annual income of $48,352. And for a 67-year-old household, assuming both partners can get average-level benefits, the annual income will be $73,204. I think such an annual income is quite comfortable after retirement. Depending on when you receive Social Security, there will be a range in the total. The earlier you receive Social Security, the fewer your benefits. For example, based on a $500,000 pension, your total annual household income is $58,292. If you start receiving Social Security at age 62, at age 67, as we said, it is $73,204. And if you start receiving Social Security at age 70, it is slightly over $85,000. Now, suppose you reach 500,000 and are much younger than retirement age. Suppose you reach 500,000 in investments at age 45. At this point, you can actually start trying different types of strategies. You could even quit your current job and change to a lower-paying career that you might like more. This means your $500,000 investment gives you a lot of options and freedom, because at this step, if you really want, you can probably transition to the so-called Coast Fire stage. This is when you have enough money in your retirement account that no further contributions are needed to cover a traditional retirement in the future. You can probably assume $500,000 is more than enough. The idea of Coast Fire is to reduce your workload so you only need to work to cover immediate daily living expenses. Then you just let that $500,000 investment compound in the background. At the $500,000 milestone, another option is that you could take 6 months to a year off without affecting your overall financial situation. In other words, you have more choices. So I think 500,000 is truly that freedom milestone or option milestone. Now, reaching 500,000 requires the same discipline as the early milestones, just for a longer time. At 500,000, there really are no new secrets to unlock. I wish there were more to reveal, but it is really the natural result of a person who reaches 10,000 sticking with it, reaching 100,000 continuing to work, and refusing to let consumerist inflation block them. So if you can reach $10,000, that means you can stick to a plan and maintain discipline. Those same principles that get you to 10,000 will get you to 100,000, 500,000, and even more. The only thing standing between you and those target numbers is more time. If you like this video, be sure to check out my video on how net worth explodes after you reach $100,000. This is a deep dive into today's second milestone. Hope to see you in the next video.